May the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. Please be seated. On the face of it, the gospel lesson was another healing that Jesus did. But let's go a little deeper into it. At the sheep gate was a pool known as Bethzatha. Lots of people were there hoping to be healed in this pool. The story was that when an angel danced on the pool, the water stirred up, and that was when you went in to be healed. Now, personally, I think probably there was a spring that fed that pool, and every once in a while, something like a seismic something or other caused it to bubble up, and there was some stirring. But I don't know that for a fact. It's just my thinking about it. There were a lot of people there, and this one man had been there a long time. Jesus came, and he saw the man, and he spoke to him. Asked him what I think is something of a non sequitur, would you like to be made well? And the man answered him, not with yes, no, thank you, but, well, with a complaint. It seems that when I try to get into the water, I'm slow, and everybody races in ahead of me, and I can't get in while the water is stirred up. And Jesus accepts his complaint and says to him, take up your mat and walk. So he picks up the mat and walks, and he's healed. But this story goes on a few more verses that were not part of the reading today, and we never hear in the lectionary. And that was that the man picks up his mat, goes away, but it's a Sabbath, and he's not allowed to walk and carry his mat. And so the Pharisaical police come and say, you are carrying that mat, you're not allowed to do that. That's bad, bad, bad. Why are you doing that? He said, well, the man who healed me told me to carry my mat. So he carries his mat. He goes a little further, and he sees Jesus, and he says, there's the man. That's the man who told me to carry my mat. And of course, this is just one more piece of trouble for Jesus. Jesus has been doing healing on the Sabbath. Now the question comes to my mind, why did Jesus pick that man, who doesn't seem to be a very nice person, kind of a grumpy Gus? Why didn't Jesus just stand there, wave his hand over all those people at the pool and say, you're healed? But he didn't. He chose the man that he saw, that he was standing near. And I think this is a lesson for us. We are not called to heal everything. We are called to do what we see. What we see that needs to be done, that comes together with our own abilities, our talents, our time. We are not called to do everything. We are called to do one thing. The thing that we see, the thing that is within our ability, our talents. There's another story in these lessons. There's a story of Paul having a vision and coming to Macedonia. He comes to Philippi. Philippi is a part of Greece. All those little pieces of Greece that stick out into the Mediterranean, Philippi is somewhere in there. It never was clear to me in the maps exactly where it was, but it's right there in Greece. What's interesting about this is that Greece is in Europe. He is now in Europe. And while he is in Europe, he meets a woman, Lydia, of Thyatira. Lydia is a person who is selling purple cloth. Purple cloth, the cloth of nobility, the very important people. Only the richest people can afford purple cloth. So I looked it up to find out why it was so valuable and discovered that there are two answers. In the Bible dictionary, it talks about the fact that it was made from special herbs and that these herbs were only available in Phoenicia and that these people kept it to themselves, they didn't share. The other is that it was made from special shells that were found along the beaches in Phoenicia, and therefore it was very difficult to make. In any case, it was only for the rich, and Lydia was a purveyor of purple cloth, which means that she was pretty rich. This was expensive, and she had a markup, I'm sure. Lydia was what was known as a God-fearer. She was one of those Gentiles who believed in the God of Isaac and Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and she was a worshiper. But she wasn't allowed into the temple or the synagogue because she was a Gentile. And so with her friends, she went out by the water, by the river, to worship together on the Sabbath. And Paul, having heard about this group, joined them. And Paul, who we already know is something of a pretty good preacher and able to gather people around him, gathers these people together, convinces them that they believe in the way, in this Messiah who God has sent, and they are all baptized. Now, we know that Lydia has got some serious amount of money because she invites all these people to come and stay with her. And what makes Lydia very interesting is that she is the first convert in Europe. She's the first European convert. She is very important saint in the Orthodox Church. She is a saint in the Catholic Church. And on Wednesday, she appeared on our calendar, the first European convert. Again, Lydia has done what she sees she can do. She has a big house. She has lots of friends. She opens up her house for worship. And this house becomes the first house church in Europe. Again, we are called not to do everything, but to do what we can. Lydia, being rich, could do a little more than maybe you and I can do. But we do what we see, and we do what is necessary. Recently, on Facebook, I saw a meme that talked about what are we called to do. And it was very simple. It was open doors for people. Smile at strangers. And one that I particularly liked, because it made me think of my late husband, was entertain children in line at the grocery store. Simple things that make a difference in the world, letting people know that we are Christians and that we will love you no matter.